Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. Sit back, relax, and let us entertain you for a couple of hours. With me tonight, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hello, Scribe.
Hello.
Your Lord of Penny. Say hello, Satsu.
Hello.
And I am your sexy as hell Lord of Pain, the ranting monkey. And how are you guys tonight? Satsu, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good.
Well done, well done. And Scribbles, how are you? Scribbles is drowning right now. Scribbles is having a moment, y'all. I hope he's well over there. I've had a decent day. I've only been awake for about 3 hours, but it's been a good 3 hours. Scribbles, seriously, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I had some very interesting news today at work. My boss calls me in and says, so you've done a very bad thing. And I'm like, what? You have way too much vacation time.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh. And we need to draw that down because it's a problem for sort of like accounting purposes. And I'm like, oh. Well, I guess, how much time do I have? And he gave me the number. I'm like, oh, so I guess I'll just take every Friday off for the rest of the year.
Very nice.
Because one of the problems is I've been there so long that I'm accruing, with each paycheck, I'm accruing more vacation time than I actually end up ever spending. So it just keeps ratcheting up. So I got to find excuses to not work more, which is like, well, that's not a bad position to be in. So that was my day.
Single father in chat says, Monkey, love the shows, miss the videos. I thank you for that. I love having you here. And I'm sorry I haven't got the videos out lately, guys. I really am. And for those of you who are yelling my name, I only yell back on the first 5 minutes of Monkey in the Morning.
Why? What's with the lounge lizard act tonight?
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah, okay.
Anyhow, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones movies, video games. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Just caress it a little bit smooth and gentle like, but give it just a little click. And don't forget to share our stuff. Our stuff is share worthy. Speaking of share worthy, Scribbles, do we have share worthy news tonight?
I'm not sure whether to read the news or to rub one out.
Well, you can do both, my friend. Do both. You got two hands.
I don't think YouTube would appreciate that. And I don't want to join the ranks of Darkside Phil. But for those of you that get that reference, congratulations on being internet drama aficionados. But moving on, let's talk about Contempt.
I like Contempt. I'm a contemptuous man.
You sound like it. House committee votes to hold Barr in contempt after Trump invokes executive privilege. Now, if this contempt thing had actually gone through, do you know who would be responsible for enforcing it?
The Justice Department.
Yeah, the Attorney General.
Yeah.
So the House Judiciary Committee voted Wednesday to hold Attorney General William Barr in contempt of Congress, escalating the looming constitutional collision over the Mueller report between congressional Democrats and the Trump administration. The committee voted along party lines 24-16 to hold Barr in contempt. The morning before the vote, President Donald Trump asserted executive privilege over special counsel Robert Mueller's report and its underlying evidence, following through on a threat the Justice Department made the night before if the committee moved forward with the contempt vote. The contempt vote and the invocation of executive privilege adds more fuel to the simmering feud between simmering feud. Really? I think it's gone a little bit beyond that, but whatever. The simmering feud between House Democrats and the administration over Democratic investigations. The president has vowed to oppose all Democratic subpoenas, and Democrats have responded by suggesting that the president's obstruction of congressional investigations could prompt them to consider impeachment. Could prompt them to consider impeachment. They've already been considering it, or at least various individuals in there. We're going to impeach the motherfucker. I mean,
yeah,
we're down that road already. But anyway,
it's been it's part of what some of them ran on.
Yeah.
We knew this was coming,
and it's even a strategy for 2020 success, according to at least one guy.
Yeah.
Barr would be the first Trump administration official held in contempt by the Democratic-led House. The matter now moves to the full House for a vote, and then is surely heading to a courtroom showdown between House Democrats and the Justice Department in Democrats' push to obtain the unredacted Mueller report and evidence. I read an argument as to why Barr should be forced to reveal the grand jury information per the law today, but I'll probably talk about that at fucketry time. The contempt vote. Sorry?
Because I said I'd be interested to hear that, because everything I know, you can't do that. So.
Well, it involves a stretching the definition of certain words to include Congress.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But anyway, the contempt vote followed a spirited and lengthy debate in the committee where Democrats warned of a constitutional crisis amid the administration's blockade, and Republicans slammed their Democratic colleagues of abusing their power by going after the Attorney General. Well, they didn't abuse their power. You guys went after Eric Holder. You held him in contempt, so that's bullshit.
This has become their new buzzword. Constitutional crisis. No, it's not. Shut up. Stop it.
Well, it's not even a new buzzword. They've been talking about that since, a year ago when Trump said somewhere about pardoning himself. He just floated the idea, and suddenly, I did a video from Vox.com where, constitutional crisis. Jeff Sessions could be fired, and the Mueller investigation. They've been doing that forever.
But this is one, if you look at a Twitter feed today, guys, the words constitutional crisis are all over it.
Sure.
And it's everywhere. It's almost like Easter worshipers. I mean, it's everywhere.
Easter worshipers.
The memo says we have to say this catchphrase.
But yeah, I mean, this goes on for quite a bit, but that's the gist. Now, the House doing it doesn't mean he's been held in contempt. The Senate also has to basically vote and confirm, and then it would go on to the Justice Department, where even if it did pass the Senate, it would just stall out anyway because the Justice Department's not going to really hold itself in contempt. So,
well, this is going to end up in the courts. There's two different kinds of contempt. There's civil contempt and criminal contempt. If they try to push through criminal contempt, then it has to go through the Justice Department. If it's civil contempt, there's not really much they can fucking do about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what's going to happen? It's not really much different than what we went through with Clinton. It's not. We've had all of these fights before. There's usually some kind of compromise that comes up before it actually hits the courts. And I just don't see Donald Trump as the compromise type. So maybe we'll finally get a ruling from courts on this nonsense.
If we even see it resolved in the term of the president. I mean, this could take months or years depending on it. So,
well, that was one of the things, if they insist on impeachment, which it looks like they're trying to, that's gonna take at least a year, at least. And all that's going to do is hurt the Democrat chances in the election, because it's going to be pulling away from what these guys are trying to say. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see the political part of this.
Yeah, it's the phrase "cutting off your nose to spite your face" keeps coming to mind, because ideologically speaking, yes, they have to go after Trump in order to maintain the illusion of a adversarial process, and also to underscore how terrible he is as a president, and etc. On the other hand, it's a what's the phrase? Tilting at windmills, a Quixotian quest, because unless something drastically changes about how the balance of the Senate is, or the opinions or loyalties of the Republicans therein, any impeachment attempt is going to be toothless, and not going to go anywhere anyway. So
McConnell's already come out and said this is a dead matter.
Yeah. And like you say, if they continue marching up this hill, all it's going to do is draw attention away from anything relevant or anything policy substantive, irate bear, that the presidential candidates for the Democratic Party in 2020 might have to say in the coming months, because they're going to have to be talking about this. And they're going to have to be talking about Trump rather than about what they are going to do to be a better president. And we all saw how that worked in 2016. So anyway, all of this aside, there are ways to escape all of this stress. How about magic mushrooms?
Yeah. Oh.
So a weird thing happened over in Denver. The measure to decriminalize magic mushrooms failed to pass.
Aw.
But then it passed.
I don't understand.
Okay, well, this is from Reason.com, which has had to issue a correction to an earlier story. And the correction is, an earlier version of this story reflected preliminary results that show the decriminalization initiative losing. The text has been edited to reflect that change. A revised video is forthcoming, because there's a video attached to this. A referendum in Denver to decriminalize psilocybin, or magic mushrooms, appears to have passed by a narrow margin, according to results from the Denver election website. But the activists who worked to get the issue on the ballot say their fight was the beginning of a larger movement. Quote, it starts by forcing the conversation and protecting access, says Cindy Sovine, a political consultant who worked on the initiative. Whether you're using this plant for a medical reason or a spiritual reason or a recreational reason, you should not be going to jail or losing your children for it, unquote. Unless you're putting your children at risk by being zonked out of your mind all the time like any other kind of drug. But
real quick, Scribbles, thank you, Blind Press. Just because Lords of the Night are awesome, back at you, lady.
Okay.
Hey, thank you for donating. Tonight's fund is the I'm not in Denver, so I can't get high fund.
Wait, magic mushrooms aren't about getting high. It's about having a vision, Monkey. It's about becoming one with the universe.
Shh, just let it happen.
I have no idea what that's supposed to mean in this context. Anyway, on average, 50 people were arrested in each of the last 3 years by Denver police for the sale or possession of psilocybin. 11 of those cases were prosecuted. Quote, one of the folks very much involved with our campaign was one of those people, says Sovine. He was arrested and thrown in jail and still to this day has ramifications in his life for what he can and cannot do because of psilocybin. Yeah, so I guess the exit polling and everything else the night before or last night or whatever it's not going to pass. And then this morning after they actually finished counting all the ballots, it's passed by just a smidge. I don't know if I have the percentage here. Are they going to tell me? Election results. Write-in, auditor, check recorder. Oh, God, it's a whole bunch of stuff. So it's somewhere in here. But anyway, yeah. Oh, wait, 301? Is that... was it 301 that was the psilocybin one? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, yeah, it must be, yeah. So the percentage right now, yes votes, 50.56%. No votes, 49.44. So yeah, it's just passed.
Man, guys, I'm going to start with you, Satsu. If they legalized hallucinogenics where you live, would you try them?
Nope.
Scribbles?
Reading the news is trippy enough.
No.
Go ahead, Satsu.
I've had a conversation with quite a few people about just trying anything. Like my excuse is very simple, and I've had people tell me it's not good enough, but I'm just like, I have no desire to, like I can't think of any legitimate reason to like alter my state of being for just because. Like, go ahead.
I've had friends that I trust who have experimented with it in various ways, and so far as I can tell, there were no negative consequences to whatever they used, and they described a completely mind-opening experience, like completely changed their outlook for the better. They had a different perception on things that different. I mean, I can't explain it or describe it nearly as concisely as they could, but and of course that's not a scientific study or anything, but everyone that I have known who has ever told me about their experience with magic mushrooms has talked about nothing but either benign to completely positive experiences. Now, does that mean that I would do it if I had the opportunity? I'll say a big maybe. That's about it.
Snub, thank you so much. Who says the side effects are long term and irreversible? It's not weed. I'm glad you brought that up because that is probably the only reason I'd try it, because there are people who have had like pain like I do and tried this stuff and it's helped them because it alters you just a little bit. And my problem is that my brain, the signals coming to it, the signals are fucked up. So
No.
I would, but there's also the scary part that it like might make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be like so on the edge. But that would be if it was just for the fun of it. Nah,
yeah.
Our world is fucked up enough. I don't need to see what it's like. Tripped.
I would only do it under like medical conditions, like in a doctor's office kind of thing, like a treatment. I wouldn't trust just someone handing me some dried mushrooms and hey, take this. I'd want it to be under a controlled circumstance if I were going to do it as a therapeutic attempt, not as just a recreational thing. Because I have heard from people who have it done medically in trial tests for things help with depression and anxiety on a permanent basis.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the only conditions under which and reasons for my attempting to use it. So just clarify that. All right. Well, how about a analysis piece from our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Cillizza?
Cool beans.
This is Donald Trump's America.
Oh, God damn it.
Now, you could be forgiven for thinking that headline belongs at any point during the time frame in which Donald Trump announced his presidential aspirations.
Sure.
You would be correct, but apparently Chris has something new to say. Maybe. Buried deep within a Pew Research Center poll on race and ethnicity in America released Wednesday is this paragraph. Okay, so you're already cherry picking. All right. Quote, most Americans, 70%, say they would not be particularly bothered if they heard people speak a language other than English in a public space, including 47% who say they would not be bothered at all. Still, a sizable share, 29%, says this would bother them at least some. Okay, so 29% of what? Most Americans, okay. 20, okay, yeah, so one third or whatever. Okay, whatever.
Real quick, I'm sorry. I almost missed one here. Blind Press, thank you so much. Doing shrooms blind is fun, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that would be trippy as fuck. And Terry Diamandis, thank you. So the plan is to take enough mushrooms that monkey hallucinates that his body is not crippled. Basically, yes, actually. Because remember, my crippling is pain.
Yeah.
And if there was a way to rewire my brain, that was actually one of the things that they thought would happen. Is it does happen with some people that it just becomes your new normal and it doesn't hurt anymore. I'm not one of those lucky people.
Okay, I just want to reiterate the last sentence in that paragraph. Still, a sizable share, 29%, says this would bother them at least some. Not outright, but at least, whatever the hell that means. Okay, that was the quoted paragraph. Back to Chris. So, 3 in 10 Americans say that hearing people speak a language other than English in public bothers them. At least some, Chris. Again, I don't know how you quantify that, but if you're going to be accurate. That includes 11% who said it bothers them a lot, okay, and 18% who admitted that it bothers them some. Which seems high. Seems. I don't know, Chris. What was it before Trump was president? Okay, into the
time out. Mm-hmm. Seems to who?
Yeah, 30% out of 100% is high.
That seems low to me. The people I know, man, you have somebody speaking Spanish like in our Walmart. Everybody around like, why the fuck are they talking like that? They should speak American.
Yeah,
that seems very low, actually.
And the percentage of people that it actually bothers them a lot is only 11%. So the extreme end of that question is just 1 in 10, maybe. Anyway, dig into the numbers and things get even grimmer. Grimmer than 11% at the extreme and 29% at the median or whatever, Chris? Okay. Among white Republicans and Republican-leaning voters, fully 47% say it would bother them a lot, 20%, or some 27%. So to hear a language, yeah, right. Just 1 in 4, 26% of that group said hearing a foreign language in public wouldn't bother them at all. By contrast, 58% of white Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters said hearing a language other than English wouldn't bother them at all. Okay, wait. Hold on. Among white Republicans and Republican-leaning voters, fully 47% say it would bother them. Okay, that means that 53% say it wouldn't.
Yes.
Okay, and so by contrast, 58% of white Democrats said you didn't contrast the same two things, Chris.
Of course not.
53% versus 58. Okay, there's a 5% increase on the Democrat side. Okay, I'll give you that. That means what? That's like the margin of error statistically, Chris. You're not contrasting the same two things, Chris.
Scribe. It's Chris Saliza. Real quick, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I watched over 3 friends on shrooms. One tried to rock himself to sleep in my car. The second tried to jam too much food into his mouth. And the third drew an imaginary friend in my car window for all 3 to talk to. All right. And thank you, Princess Unicorn Nipples, who says, about tree fitty. And Snub, thank you so much. The only time I have a problem is when they use government programs in retail. You would be surprised how many hold up things till you can find a translator, especially for WIC. Okay. He's talking about what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, you continue to astound me. And I'm doing a video on you, Chris. Okay.
I'm sorry, I keep stopping this because I do have questions for you guys. I firmly believe the U.S. needs an official language, and it should be English just because it's the one used by most people.
What does that do?
It unifies the people with a language.
How does that not already exist in America without it being officially mandated?
Because we are starting to have a problem where more and more people don't speak English and proudly don't speak English.
Well, so if someone doesn't speak English, you're going to what? Arrest them?
If they're already citizens, there's nothing we can do. But to become a citizen, you would have to learn English. Yes.
Isn't that already part of the citizenship process?
No,
it's not.
No, it's not an official. It's not our official language. So,
I thought you had to know how to speak basic English to pass citizenship.
No, they actually don't they give citizenship tests in Spanish?
Let's see. I will look it up.
Connor Johnson, thank you so much. There was a show that used to air on the BBC called Little Britain. I'm personally mixed on it, but do you remember it? I don't watch the BBC.
Okay. To become a U.S. citizen, you must have a permanent resident green card for at least 5 years, or for at least 3 years if you're filing as the spouse of a U.S. citizen. If you apply for naturalization less than 6 months, that's all. You must meet certain eligibility requirements, including being at least 18 years old, able to read, write, and speak basic English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I knew it was basic English. I didn't think it would be required to be fluent, but yeah, to become a citizen, you have to be able to read, write, and speak basic English as a matter of course.
Fair enough. Then yeah, I that's great. Then I'm fine. But I still think we need an official language here.
I think it's relatively moot, but unless there was some overriding need, I've never had it articulated to me why we need an official language. There seems to be one that's pretty much common parlance as it is. So,
Faithless says I should not need to select English when calling my government. I agree. Satsu, do you have an opinion on that?
I don't really feel like it needs to be like officially mandated either, really. But also it's like mainly because I don't really understand, just like Scribe said, what it would exactly change.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Chris's brilliance after giving us those statistics by comparing literally apples to oranges. Numbers,
right.
I mean, seriously, I can't believe I actually just read that from a thinking human being. Numbers like those go a long way in explaining how someone like Donald Trump a political gadfly with nor real set ideology. Do you mean no instead of nor, Chris? N-O-R? Nor? Okay, I just want to read Chris's job title at CNN again. Editor at large.
Yeah.
Editor. He doesn't even proofread his own shit. Okay, nor real set with nor real set ideology. Marched to the Republican presidential nomination, won the White House, and has overseen a total overhaul of the GOP since becoming president. I don't know if it's quite an overhaul. It's people having to just sort of like go along to get along to keep their jobs, but whatever. Trump's candidacy was premised on the fear of the people.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Make America Great Again is a fearful. I guess people who interpreted it as being something fearful. I guess people who didn't think like you and yes, look like you were taking over this country.
What? No, you lying dick.
And they were taking it from you. The you tended to be whites and men in particular. The whole notion of Make America Great Again was that A, it wasn't great now, and B, at a time in the past before PC culture took over, it was great. Remember this from Trump's announcement speech? Quote, "The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems," Trump said. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people, unquote. Or this from Trump's inaugural address, quote, "The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer," unquote. Wait, okay. Now, the first quote, that is some easily interpreted fucked up shit on Trump's part. The second quote doesn't say anything about anybody by race or creed or anything else. It's kind of it's honestly kind of just sort of, you know, platitude bullshit.
Real quick, thank you, Chicago Mike. Can we make the official language Klingon? No, I have a Klingon dictionary. That shit's hard to read. It's amazing he's talking about that because Jim Acosta was talking about that quote earlier today. That'll be
almost
like
they work for the same company or something.
Yeah, that will be part of my fucketry later. If you read the whole quote of that from the speech, the first one, where if you just take they're rapists, that was interpreted by the media as he's calling all Mexicans rapists. It's actually not even close to what he was saying. But
well, yeah, because that was the narrative. Is he said that every single person that has ever crossed the border was a rapist, a murderer, or a drug dealer. And they're like, it's quoted. He said those exact words. And I'm like, okay, well, when he said he's not, they're not bringing you. When he was talking to the Mexicans that were in the audience, by the way, listening to that, I guess.
Well, again, the narrative was that all Mexicans are that way, but he's saying, look, they're not sending the ones who aren't rapists. I mean, the very notion there is like that a lot of Mexicans are not. They're just sending the shitty ones across the border. I'm sorry.
The idea that Mexico is sending people like actively.
Mexico is. They do. They actively do. They actually put out they put out pamphlets telling their citizens what they can get if they come across the U.S. border. The entitlements and stuff. They do. They absolutely do.
Weren't they essentially escorting the caravans over here?
Sometimes it depends on which one.
I've honestly never heard about the Mexican government putting out pamphlets of how to cross the border illegally. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, because that sounds like some honestly. Okay, well, I'd be glad to hear that, but that seems kind of odd to me that the Mexican government would be actively, as a part of their policy, telling their citizens to enter the U.S. illegally.
There you go. I just put a link to the chat. How to illegally and safely cross the Mexican border from the Mexican government. This is a pamphlet that was put out by them in 2005 to instruct them how to safely get across the border. This is something they've actively done.
Destructibles.org. You got something a little bit more like, legitimate. I don't have just something somebody threw together in Photoshop or something.
I'll keep digging for you to find it.
All right. Just some a bit more official corroboration, because that seems a little odd to me.
The first place I heard about this was from one of Razor Fist's videos.
Okay. Anyway, we've talked about Chris enough. There's other stories going on. We got we're already at the bottom of the hour. Damn it. Okay, well, I will save those for later, maybe.
Oh, sorry. That brings us to MSS News Time. Sorry, I was reading. Thank you so much. Dark Shade Whispers. White tags. There we go. MSS News Time. Guys, if there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to them all, but that's just because I can't think of a reason. Scribbles?
The reason is white tags.
White tags.
Okay, well, getting on to the wonderful world and taking off the filter again because, Twitter and filters and stuff. This one comes from Mr. Monopoly. Excuse me. Pennsylvania school, I'm assuming just one, okay, drops God Bless America after complaint.
Huh?
A Pennsylvania elementary school principal will no longer say God Bless America following the Pledge of Allegiance after the district received a legal complaint on behalf of a parent who claimed that doing so broke the law. Peter Brigg, the principal of Saybold Elementary School in Springfield, would say the phrase after reciting the pledge over the loudspeaker. At least one parent filed a complaint to the Freedom from Religion Foundation. An attorney from the group sent a letter to the district complaining that publicly announcing the expression violated the U.S. Constitution's prohibition of government sponsoring religious messages. Got a point. God Bless America is a prayer. A prayer hosted by a publicly supported school does not pass constitutional muster, the foundation said. The district released a statement Friday confirming that it received a complaint that reciting the words God Bless America over the loudspeaker, quote, violated the law, unquote, and that it would stop the practice immediately.
No, it
I wonder if they also wanted to take out the part in the pledge where it says one nation under God, indivisible. Because the under God part, I think, was added in the 50s.
Yeah, something like real quick, Scribbles, I put a story from the New York Times about that very same pamphlet in the chat. Okay. It is not a specific God. I believe the Supreme Court's already settled this. I may be wrong, but yeah, it's not a song, or it's not a prayer. This is a stretch, and just fucking atheists. God, I hate these people.
Huh. Okay, well, if you believe the Mexican government, it's one of those things where it's like, you're going to do it anyway, but if you're going to do it, at least do it so you don't die. The guy, let's see, the officials here say okay. Officials in Mexico say the small booklet illustrated in comic book style is not intended to encourage illegal immigration, but to reduce the loss of life. Last year, more than 300 migrants died while crossing rivers and deserts to reach the United States. The guidebook also advises would-be migrants to avoid hiring professional immigrant smugglers and to refuse to carry packages for others. It also instructs people never to lie to border officials, carry false documents, or resist arrest. Well, I mean, either way, if that is true, that's just more a sign of just how bad it is over there. So I guess take it either they're, if you want to take it as them encouraging people to do it, or just trying to say, hey, if you're going to do it because so many of you are trying, at least do this so you don't die. That's some pretty grim pragmatism there, if that's the case. So I don't know.
All right.
Jim Healis says, how about publishing a guide that says do not do this, right?
Yeah, there's that too. Or if you're feeling like this is the only way to solve your problems, try this or something. Yeah, so I can kind of get the group's point. I mean, if it was saying one nation or like Allahu Akbar or something at the end of the pledge, people would take just as much exception to it. So, and freedom of religion is also the ability to be free from religion. So, I could see it. I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll go nationwide, but you never know. School by school or something. Let's see. This one comes from Dragon Mage 24. I don't know who this person is. Jody Comer. You guys know who that is?
Jody Comer.
It doesn't ring a bell. Real quick, Johnny Hellcat, thank you. This stream is brought to you by Mexico. Mexico, go to America. Yeah, right.
Jody Comer on weird experience when male fans waited for her at airport. I still don't even know who you are. She's an actress on Killing Eve. I've heard of the show. I've never seen it.
I've never even heard of it.
Okay, let's hear about a weird story. Jody Comer has said that she was once approached by strange men who had followed her on a press tour in the middle of the night while catching a flight. The Killing Eve actress, who has become a global star since playing psychopathic killer Villanelle.
Yeah.
A psychopathic killer named Villanelle. Okay. In the hit drama series, I've never heard of her, has also said that her on-screen alter ego is perhaps the reason she is currently single. Well,
what?
People believe that you are your character and you're a psychopathic killer. Yeah. Comer, 26, told Sunday Times Culture magazine about the impact the fame has had on her life, saying, quote, "You know what? It's not a drastic change, but there's definitely been a shift." But that doesn't tell us anything. What about this story? I got to the airport. It must have been half past 2, and there were men waiting for me to sign things. They'd been following us around doing press. They'd been following us around doing press during the week. Whoa. When does it become normal for strange men to be waiting for you at the airport?
Really? Dear Christ. Look. Oh, God. You fucking cunt. These are fans who took time out of their day. They could have been doing anything else, but they're this big of a fan of you to hopefully get you to pay attention to them for 5 fucking seconds and sign something for you. You don't even say they did anything. It's not like they grabbed for your breast or anything. They're just like, yeah, I'm a fan. Could you please sign this? And you're like, these people are fucking weird. I hope your fame dies quickly and that you sit alone in your little house with a whole bunch of cats wondering where it all went wrong.
Well, the only reason that I would agree with Monkey is because of the fact that she's framing it as it's wrong because they're men. Like if it was anybody else, it wouldn't be an issue. But because they're dudes, it's a problem.
I didn't see anything that she said it in that way.
Well, it just seems like it because she's like, when is it normal for
strange men?
There was a lot of heavy. Right.
Yeah. The other way I could look at it as she's 26. This is the first time that she's ever been famous. Everything is weird. Everything seems out of place.
I mean, I can get that, but
I mean, she says, when does it become normal for strange men to be waiting for you at the airport? I mean, I didn't see anything particularly misandrist in that. I think it's just sort of like, well, not directly, no.
Strange. Okay, what made these men strange?
Okay, Comer has previously revealed that a female fan once asked her to strangle her because of her violent character in the hit drama series.
Mm-hmm.
So, strange fans doing strange things that are strange to her because she's never been famous before.
You know what? I don't see that.
But was that
I don't see the quote. When does it become normal for strange females to want me to strangle them? Real quick. Thank you, James Colley. When you cannot relay simple instructions to coworkers because they can't or refuse to speak and understand English, then you will understand why there's a need for English as an official language. Thank you so much.
It should be more of like an HR issue than anything else.
In my last job, it was a big fucking problem. It really was.
Well, okay, like I say, I didn't see anything that was overtly sexist there, unless you want to take it that way. And nothing she was saying there was like, I hate men or something. It's just like weird having strange men show up at 2 a.m. wanting me to sign things at the airport. It's just like, okay, I can kind of understand how
it just seems like
odd.
Seems like the aim, though, like the way that both situations were addressed. Because I mean, if this was a story that was talked about and it was newsworthy, then I feel like a woman asking you to choke her so you can mimic that. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems a bit targeted to me.
The woman wanting to be choked seems a whole lot stranger to me than the guys just wanting a fucking autograph.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
All right. This one comes from Frosted Glass.
Don't take your fans for granted, lady.
It's The Guardian. Oh, boy. On climate change, as the left wakes up to climate injustice, have you heard of Al Gore by any chance? Anyway, we must not fall into green colonialism. That's a new one to me. What's green? The mainstream transatlantic left.
Oh, God.
Okay, the mainstream transatlantic left has been acting different lately. Maybe you mean differently, but anyway. Having been subsumed into third way politics for several decades, it seems we are growing back some teeth in our bite on the big systematic issues of today. This is all British talk, so it's all nonsense. Anyway, sorry. From Labor calling for a national climate emergency to prominent Democrat Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez declaring capitalism is irredeemable, says she who has the slush fund, we are slowly unzipping ourselves from the straitjacket. Straitjackets don't have zippers mostly. They have straps, and they're mostly behind you. But anyway, the straitjacket of incrementalist politics. The left has a new center, and it's not messing about. That entire paragraph made practically no sense. It's just words.
Yeah, real quick. Thank you, Brian. Monkey, is your room smelly? Try Febreze Larson.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
What? It is nonetheless
thank them for that.
It is nonetheless critical to ground these struggles in their long history. Indeed, many post-independent struggles in the global South have been struggles against capitalism and the political and ecological injustices it produces. My brain's melting trying to read that article. I'm done.
Well, the very next sentence is, take climate change. We're finally seeing something of a start to the kind of mass mobilization and political will needed to rise to the challenge. Dun, dun. Which challenge? The challenge Cortez talked about, or the one that Al Gore's talked about?
Yeah.
Or the one that was talked about even further back by the guy from the UN back in 1989.
Yeah, the environmentalist movement, recycling, conservation, etc. None of this stuff has been going on the entire time that I've been alive. No, it's just starting now.
Thank you, Dark Shade. But socialism can be redeemed, apparently. Right.
Yeah.
It's never been tried, man. It's never been tried.
All right, this one comes from Massive Dynamics. Oh, Ohio burglary suspect pet the dog and washed the dishes, deputies say.
Well, that was nice of her.
Broke into a house to do housework? Okay, well, yeah.
She is not pretty.
That is an unfortunate-looking woman.
I will share the link.
I'm guessing meth. I don't know. An Ohio woman was arrested after she allegedly broke into a home on Monday. But once inside, she did things many others would pay her to do, according to officials. Cheyenne Ewing snuck into a home in Hamden, a city roughly 80 miles south of Columbus, around 9 a.m., and sat down on the couch. Ewing then allegedly started to pet the family dog inside the home and proceeded to wash the dishes before leaving. The person who reported Ewing to investigators said they didn't know Ewing and didn't invite her into her home and said she was, quote, acting very strange, unquote. The sheriff's office said the deputies later found Ewing as she was knocking on doors in the neighborhood. Ewing appeared to be, quote, under the influence of narcotics, unquote, big surprise, and
Really?
claimed to have been awake for 2 days. I'm betting meth.
Meth.
I'm betting meth. She allegedly provided a responding deputy with a fake name. She was then taken to the Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail and charged with burglary. A bond hearing was scheduled for Tuesday. Well, if you're going to have to break into somebody's home, I guess that's the best you could hope for.
Well, she has the official hairstyle of old white janitors, like old white female janitors. Like that is like the official hairstyle. Every fucking older woman that I've seen like cleaning places, that is every single time.
She has the official face of meth, man. That is meth right there. And real quick, thank you, Dark Shade. Then true capitalism has never been tried. Actually, that's true. Absolute capitalism has never been tried. That bitch, yeah, that's a lot of meth right there.
This one comes from Joys of Sorrow. World famous chef stopped at LAX with 40 piranhas in a duffel bag.
Why?
PSA, customs officers do not like it when you try to bring a duffel bag full of 40 vacuum-sealed frozen piranhas into Los Angeles. Yeah, for probably several reasons. Virgilio Martinez, chef owner of Central Restaurant in Peru, who was featured in the 3rd season of Netflix's Chef's Table, another TV show I've never heard of or seen because Netflix is a glut of... Netflix is basically like a one channel of 800 channels like you would have on cable that you never see or watch.
Right.
At this point, because there's like a billion shows and specials and things on there that I can't imagine there's any viewer share of significance for a lot of them. Anyway, he learned this lesson the hard way. The chef landed at LAX this past week to cook dinners at Somni and at Vespertine as part of the Los Angeles Times month-long food festival, Food Bowl. In his luggage when he landed were 40 piranhas. Now, I can't imagine that a world-traveled chef did not understand the restrictions of bringing... Hello?
Yeah.
Satsu dropped a spoon in a bowl.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if that was like something else going on. Bringing fish, poultry, any kind of animal meat into another country. That seems a little odd.
Thank you, James Colley. They broke Scribe, you bastards. Yeah.
I was extremely obsessed about bringing piranhas because we served piranhas in the Amazon at Central. So I said, guys, why not take a risk to bring piranhas to LA? You probably have preconceived notions about piranhas because of movies, but for me, piranhas, we go fish them. And that's the end of the story. I'm assuming they confiscated the fish. And you know what, dude? You can get piranhas in America.
Have them shipped in, you dumbass.
Yeah, have them go through the normal processes for bringing in food from other places so they can be checked and everything. In a duffel bag? Okay, you're an idiot. Or just looking for publicity, I suppose.
Oh, God.
Let's see. This one comes from Princess Unicorn Nipples. I feel like I have to say that like a cartoon character whenever I read that name. Florida man arrested after refusing to remove obscene sticker from window. Okay. Authorities say a Florida man was jailed after refusing to remove an obscene sticker from his vehicle's window.
Yep.
And cops are coming for me apparently. I don't have any stickers in my car window. I don't have a car. Okay. A Columbia County Sheriff's Office report says 23-year-old Dylan Shane Webb was arrested Sunday and charged with misdemeanor counts of violating Florida's obscenity law and resisting an officer without violence. It says a deputy stopped Webb in Lake City because of a sticker crudely describing a sexual appetite. The sticker said, "I eat ass," according to the Lake City Reporter. The deputy initially cited Webb for obscenity with a notice to appear in court. Officials say the deputy told Webb to alter the sticker to change the derogatory part, but Webb refused, citing his First Amendment free speech rights. The deputy then charged Webb with resisting and took him to jail. Huh. Well...
That's not resisting.
Yeah, refusing to do what you said is not resisting. Resisting. Well, I mean, unless he's saying I'm resisting a lawful order, because technically he would be resisting a lawful order under the obscenity law. So that could be it. That's my best guess.
Oh yeah, it's just resisting an officer, not resisting arrest. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
One, we don't eat ass. That's nasty. Stop it.
Tongue butter the turtle cave.
But free speech.
But,
Free speech, man.
but
It's free speech. It's free speech. Yeah. They read this article on Ghost Poo. I was over with those guys today, and that article said that he was told he had to remove one letter from this. And my suggestion was to remove the I. So that it just says eat ass. I put a link in the chat because this story doesn't have it, but I put a link in the chat where you can actually see the sticker. He was also asked, apparently the cop asked him, what is a parent supposed to say if a child sees this? And he's like, it's up to the parents.
You know what would solve that whole thing? Is if underneath that phrase you put a picture of like a donkey sitting on a serving dish with like forks in hand kind of thing.
That question always pisses me off.
What's that?
What is a parent supposed to do if she's?
Right.
I don't know. Be a fucking parent. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with me?
What about the children? Darkshade, thank you. But that's where chocolate comes from, right? Oh no.
Well, I mean, if you watch a certain video,
to eat the poo poo.
What?
All
right.
The poo poo.
Let's see. This one comes from Septus Wolf. Let's see. Iowa veteran marries girlfriend hours before dying of liver cancer. Oh man.
Ouch.
I hate these stories. I mean, you know, they're sweet stories, but they're also really sad. Iowa Army veteran 20 marries his girlfriend hours before dying of rare liver cancer.
Damn.
An Iowa Army veteran married his girlfriend just 5 hours before he passed away from a rare form of liver cancer. Tristan Lau, 20, of Waverly, joined the U.S. Army National Guard in July 2016 before being medically discharged in April 2018 following his diagnosis. Last month, doctors told the family that Lau likely had only weeks to live. But Lau had one final wish to marry his girlfriend, Tiana Hargrafen, reported KWWL. Lau was diagnosed with fibrolamellar carcinoma, a rare form of liver cancer, after returning home from his 10-week boot camp. And then you see the pictures of him when he was healthy and the pictures of him right before. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a sad story.
The cancer typically occurs in young adults around age 25 who are otherwise healthy. Many have no signs or symptoms until the disease is advanced, including abdominal pain, loss of appetite, nausea, and vomiting. Fibrolamellar carcinoma occurs in about 1 in 5 million people in the general population.
Jesus, this poor bastard.
That is a contest. I'm sorry that guy, quote unquote, won.
Well, somebody asked for the link. There it is, guys.
Yeah, that's. Okay. Now, what else we got? You want me to do one more, Monkey, or?
Oh, sorry. I was. Yeah, let's get one more in.
All right. Well, we'll end with a story about the mob.
Yay!
Not just any mob, the Canadian mob.
Canadian mob.
Yeah, no, it's true. Pincala the driving ape man sends us this one. No, there really is.
They shoot you and then apologize for it.
Yeah, something like that. Reputed mob chief Pat Musitano leaves hospital. Reputed Hamilton mob chieftain Pat Musitano has been released from a Toronto area hospital just 2 weeks after he was gunned down. A triggerman parked 4 bullets into Mustano. Parked? Okay, a triggerman.
They're Canadian, man. They're nice.
I guess so. That sounds very gentle to park a bullet into you. A triggerman parked 4 bullets into Musitano, 52, in a Mississauga parking lot outside his lawyer's office. One of the bullets hit the alleged gangster in the head, and for a time he remained in critical condition. The hit was just the latest salvo in a bitter and bloody battle for control of Southern Ontario's criminal rackets. In recent years, the long-established Musitano clan's position in the underworld has been eroding. Canadian mob stories, and I'm not even kidding. Like, was it Rizzuto? I think it was the first real big mob kingpin of Canada. The Italian mob moved to Canada. Risotto, whatever his name was. Yeah. Anyway,
I didn't know they had a mob.
Yeah, I think Netflix just had a TV movie or a Netflix original or whatever come out that dramatized part of that story. I read about this. I did a lot of research on the mobsters at one point, and the Canadian mob was always very odd. It's like one of the last sort of. It's like the mob wars of our past only kind of just arrived in Canada is sort of in glacial time, so to speak. So Canada's behind the times in that their mobs there are acting like ours did decades and decades ago. So
let me get this real quick. James Colley, thank you so much. A lucky bastard. He didn't have to suffer long-term marriage. Oh, and Canadian mob. Okay, the Downsy eggs of the mob world. Jesus Christ. And Dark Shade, thank you. The Maple Syrup Syndicate is brutal. Oh my God.
Yeah. At least five gangland slayings have occurred since March of 2017. So, anyway, yeah, he's out of the hospital. How long will he survive? Tune in next week.
I'd like to do one more article actually, because the next one I see, I'd like to talk about.
Well, you go right ahead because I'm going to take a break.
Sure. This one comes from Shady Grin. Loot boxes may become illegal in the U.S. if new bill passes.
Oh, because they're gambling, huh?
U.S. Senator Josh Hawley announced he is introducing a bill that would potentially bar the sale of loot boxes in certain video games. If enacted, Hawley's bill, God damn it, an ad popped up as I'm reading. Stop that shit. I need to get an ad blocker. Hawley's bill, called the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act, would ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions in titles targeted at or popular among minors, likening the business model to addiction. Social media and video games prey on user addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world and extracting profits from fostering compulsive habits, the senator said in a statement. No matter this business model's advantages to the tech industry, one thing is clear: there's no excuse for exploiting children through such practices. When a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction. Game developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences. No. Look, I don't like loot boxes, but how is that any different than them buying anything else? I'm tired of the whole addiction with video games thing. If you wanted to say gambling, okay, maybe you'd get me on that one. Maybe be like, all right, but like the pay to win model. If just because there's a rich kid out there who can buy a gun that you don't, look, I don't play those kind of games. You know why? Because I don't like pay to win games. But there are people who do, and you can't blame the companies for having a good business model that works.
Well, I mean, it depends on the model, because some of them are created to literally prey on people's addictive nature, and like you said, you know, that when we're talking about kids, that ultimately comes down to, you know, the parents properly monitoring their kids and what they're playing and stuff like that. But yeah, some of these practices are literally designed to do that. So if we let it get out of hand, like, I know it's a thing now, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. And it becomes the standard, like, that could create a huge issue.
Okay.
Not only for oh, go ahead.
How do you decide that it's a game for kids?
Who's it marketed for?
Based on because the age rating and the marketing will tell you who the targeted demographic is. Now, a lot of the games that they are talking about are probably including in this are not for kids, which is a completely separate issue. But I think one of the games that they probably would be talking about or including, even though it wouldn't make sense to include this game, would be Fortnite. Because Fortnite does not have any pay-to-win microtransactions. It's all cosmetic.
Fortnite and CSGO, that's what this is about. But they do also mention Candy Crush. I'm like, what? Where was that? Holly cites the popular mobile title Candy Crush Saga as an example, as it allows players to purchase a $150 Luscious bundle to make the game easier, though it's certainly far from the only title to offer these kind of spending options.
Right.
I have a problem with this. Look, again, with the loot boxes, you might get me on board because it's gambling. And if it's a children's game, if it's like a Barbie game with gambling in it, come on, we know who that's meant for. But if you're talking about, say, Counter-Strike Go, there's a lot of kids who play that game. There's a lot of adults who play that game. And I don't think you can look at it and go, this is marketed to kids. So that's where I'd have a real big problem in the first place. Second place, I mean,
well, you just said lots of kids play that game. I mean, how are these things any different than slot machines?
Yeah, but with slot machines, you still allow adults to do it.
Yeah, but
where they're going to.
The kids aren't allowed.
Kids aren't allowed. Yeah, slot machines
to do that.
Yeah, slot machines are generally speaking by law in places that have to be restricted to adults 21 and over, or 18, depending on the situation. CS:GO, Candy Crush, Fortnite, I mean, whatever. If there's some advantage to be had or some monetary value to be derived from it based on chance, you're looking at a slot machine. You're looking at a gambling.
Real quick over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, Terry Diamandis. The Protecting Children from Abuse Games Act. So the PC Fag Act? Yeah, apparently. Yeah, it is. And thank you, Darkshade. Silly Candy Crush is for older women, not kids. That would be my experience too.
Well, I mean, I don't think that was the intent. I think that's just what ended up happening.
Okay, so if we're taking the example of a slot machine, what we do is we lock children out of the casinos. We don't ban slot machines.
How do you lock children out of CS:GO?
I don't know how you can.
That's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the problem. There's no way to really regulate the access to it based on age, based on consent, legal or otherwise. So that is the conundrum.
Well, I understand what you're saying there. I just don't think you take something away from legal adults because children might do it.
If there was some way of someone to verify their age or some other thing you have to put in there if you're going to participate in it, I could see maybe that. And of course, kids can lie about their age and get into bars and casinos all the time, etc. But if you actually put some kind of rules around it, but you also have to be able to enforce the penalties of breaking those rules. And that's a really tough thing to do when you got thousands, if not millions of people playing a particular game at any one time.
Darkshade, thank you.
Super chat. I got it.
Okay, where do kids get the money for the loot boxes in the first place? Parents go blameless again, huh? Yeah. Go ahead, Satsu. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is ultimately down to the parents when we're talking about kids, them being parents and fucking paying attention to what your kids are doing. But my issue when it comes to the predatory actions is stuff like if you guys look at the new Elder Scrolls Blades game on the phone, like the way that they set up their monetization, it basically forces you, if you want to enjoy the game, to do things that you normally wouldn't do. Like, for example, when I was talking to you guys about the chests that you get in the game, you only can carry a certain amount of chests at a time, and each chest takes about 3 hours to open. And the only time that another chest timer starts after the 3 hours is if you make sure you go back to that game every 3 hours to open that chest. And it's that predatory stuff that puts you in a position where you're like, I have to do this. Like, if I want to play this game and I want to have fun, or I want to keep up with other people who are playing and do good at it, basically I need to become this game's bitch. And like, they're creating these games this way on purpose, and I don't like it.
Egg timers on these games isn't anything new.
No, it's not. But the way that they did it that time, that is an evolution of that system.
Sounds pretty boilerplate to me. I don't know if there's something special about it. Can you pay to speed up the clock?
You can.
Yeah. Okay.
You can pay to speed up the clock.
Right, but you're not. It's See, that one. I don't know. There's not really a. Are the chests random items of value or something?
Yes, they are random items. You get random items that help you out in the game, or that give you, either in-game currency or stuff that'll help you
Okay.
progress. And
Got
I'm
it.
saying, like, it being created in that way is the issue that I'm having. Where it's like there's no other games, like even other games where I've had where you had to open chests. You got 6 chests. Each chest has a 3-hour timer. 3 hours are up, you can open all the chests. It's
Right.
like they're okay. 3 hours passed, but they stack them and made it like that is a new thing that they just did, which is why it was so it was pointed out and the mainstream media was all over it, because they're like, dude, that's kind of fucked, because you're basically, you're like making it to where this person has to, if they want to keep up with everybody else, they have to log in every 3 hours to make sure that they can open all of them. I mean, of course you have choice.
Yes.
You don't have to, but if you want to be good at the game, this is what you have to do, because that's how they designed it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, yes, it was designed to do that. It was designed to make you addicted to the game and want to come back to play it again and continually log in and tempt you with microtransactions. Yeah, it's a fine line between, like, well, you pay for what you get and or gambling. So yeah, I get it.
Right. And people's argument is, well, just don't play it. And I'm like, okay, but the argument is, if that becomes commonplace and all these places are like, oh, this is okay to do, we should all adopt this, then what else is there to play? If everybody jumts on that metric,
Monopoly.
they're like, we're
Clue.
right. Go back to playing cards.
Yeah, no, seriously. It's like, if video games become untenable to play, go outside. God forbid. Anyway.
Yeah, guy, I've seriously enjoyed the news tonight. We've had a lot of good conversations, but we need to get past that. It is YouTube time. Satsu, what'd you do on the YouTubes?
I uploaded my fire noodle video where I tried the Korean very hot noodles or whatever. Uploaded that video, so that is up and available for you guys to see if you want to see it. I'll be doing the 2x1 sometimes down the road. I don't know when yet because I haven't ordered them, and I'm a little weary about doing so, but I know I'm gonna have to do it at some point. Lots of other videos down the pipeline that I've finished doing the audio for, and I've going to be future dating like 3 or 4 of them coming up soon, so that way you guys got content to watch. Also, SDA hooked us up with an official Lords of the Night Discord.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty legit. She hooked it up. And now we have an official Discord for Lords of the Night that you guys can go hang out in and talk about stuff and share MSS news stuff or whatever it is you want to do. She put a whole bunch of categories in there. I'm going to look at it and figure out all the ins and outs when I get a chance, because it's still brand new. But I'll drop the link for you guys so you guys can join it. Other than that, that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Yeah, for those of you who used to go over to my Discord after these streams, I will probably be as active in this one as I was in that one, or as I am in that one right now. I'll drop by now and then. She did a lot of work. It's a great place. You guys can go hang out and chat. Don't be dicks though, because you will get slapped for it.
Mm-hmm.
I did my Monkey in the Morning stream. Skeptok came on and joined me, and now I'm here. Scribbles, what'd you do?
Well, I worked a bit on my Chris Saliza video, but then, as just seems to be my luck sometimes, as I was putting things together and editing, I found several audio errors and recording errors in my audio. And so I went back and re-recorded a couple of things, but then my fixes did not match up to the original audio at all. Like my microphone's weird. Depending on what time of day I'm recording, it'll record things slightly differently, and I can't really adjust them for some reason. So I ended up having to re-record everything. So all the time and energy I had to actually putting the video together went back into re-recording all the audio. So I kind of ended up where I began when I got home from work. So I lost a day, let's say,
Ouch,
because of audio stuff. So that's what I did. Yay. And also to plug that as of right now, scheduled Sunday at noon Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT, to talk to Irate Bear on Familiar with the Matter about the Royal Navy.
cool.
So forward to that. I'll be updating on Friday once I double check with Bear that his schedule still works out. And that's it.
All right. That brings us up to fucketry time. And Satsu, you want to go first? You got some fucketry for us? Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick. Citron, thank you. I should give up my hobby because greed, Scribe? I'm not sure that's what he said.
I didn't say that. I must have missed something.
No, it was the way it came off, because you were like, oh, well, if all the games get fucked, then go do something else. And everybody
I mean, if you do not like what the games are doing as far as how they're constructed or what they're charging you or whatever else, then you have the option to not play them and find something or some other kind of game to play that doesn't require that stuff. I didn't say you had to give it up.
I think it was because the conversation was about stopping it from getting to that point.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not what I meant.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I was being a little snarky, but I wasn't saying I wasn't advising people to stop playing video games, because then I'd be, depriving myself of things that I like to do. So
indeed, yeah. Scribe's a gamer. Man, I saw Grim Dawn had an update, and I was like,
yep, Forgotten Gods, and they just put out a little update today where they updated a whole bunch of the visual effects for the powers and things. Oh man, good stuff. Especially if you read the plot. That's the one thing. If you like story too, and you actually read the plot of the new expansion. Well, I do play a little bit for the plot. If you read the plot of the new expansion, there's some interesting, and you've been paying attention to the story previous, there's some interesting revelations. So anyway.
Anyways, Satsu's fucketry.
Nothing that's coming to mind.
That was anticlimactic.
Nah, not really. It's been consistent for the past couple weeks.
Scribbles, what about you?
Let's see. Well, I'll bring up the one that I was talking about, the legalese regarding the contempt or whatever, or sorry, the grand jury testimony.
Yeah.
So let me find it here. So Rachel Maddow retweeted this guy out. I guess he's I'm not quite sure who he is, but his name is Ted Boutreau. And he has a thread about his justification as to why Barr is lying. Essentially, he says he's lying when he says that Rule 6E regarding keeping grand jury testimony secret is preventing him from releasing it. He says Rule 6E3D creates a national security foreign intelligence exception that applies here. Now, here's the quote from the law. So the Attorney General may, I want to underscore the word may, reveal such information to those involving foreign intelligence, or information involving foreign intelligence or counterintelligence to federal law enforcement, intelligence, national defense, and security officials.
And they're trying to stretch that to mean Congress?
Well, then he goes on to say, based on the exception's plain language and purpose, members of the House Judiciary and Intelligence and other committees qualify as federal law enforcement, intelligence, and national defense security officials.
No, they don't.
That's what I said.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, okay. Like I said, in my response to this, my response was, even if you stretch the language to include legislators on committees, which is a stretch, the key word in all of the rules is may. The Attorney General may do this. The word is not will.
Or has to.
Or has to, whatever.
Yeah.
So, it is a stretch of the language to say that a member of a judiciary committee thus becomes a law enforcement official and or a national security official on a national security committee. Somehow I don't think, well, I don't know. I'll just stop there. It didn't sound like a good argument to me, but that's what his entire argument hinges on, is if you expand that language to include members of judiciary committees and committees in Congress.
Yeah, if they took that to court, the judge would laugh at him.
Yeah.
They would laugh at him. Real quick, thank you, Michael. I never know how to say your name, so I'm just going to say Michael. Despite making up only 13% of the game, DLC makes up 50% of the price. That was one of the problems when DLC started, and one of the worries, because we didn't used to get DLC. We used to get expansion packs.
Yep.
And they weren't a full game. It was like at least 50% of the size of the original game or something like that. And now it's like
Forgotten Gods with Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn has expansion packs, guys.
And now it's like you get look here's 5 minutes of content for $15. Like, nah, I'm not arguing that there's not problems, but I just think market should work on it and not necessarily legislators. Did you have more fuck at you there, Scribe?
Let me double check. I don't think I had much. I was snarky about things, of course, as usual. No. Oh, Tyra Banks was on Sports Illustrated again.
Oh.
It was the first time she'd been on there since 1997. They got the two pictures next to each other. And I will say, Tyra Banks, I don't know what happens if you set aside all the Photoshop that might have gone into it, but she still looks really good. Although I tweeted out, ask her about her CFO hiring mandate.
Nice.
And the other one was Converse, the shoe company or whatever. They put out a little ad that says, "We're happy to launch our Pride collection, partnering with 6 individuals connected to the LGBTQ plus community who show the power of expressing one's true self." And if I'm not mistaken, one of the people in this photo is Desmond the Amazing.
Oh, really?
Desmond is Amazing. Who, so far as I recall, is still a minor child. And there are other people in this photo that look like minor children. And I just tweeted back to Converse, "Hey, Converse, don't you think it's a little, creepy to be actively promoting the sexualization of minors, regardless of your virtuous intent, while creepy being the most polite word that came to mind?"
It's beyond creepy.
Yeah, okay. LGBT, okay, I don't want to think about any of these kids having sex because they're kids, Converse. Normalize anyway. I don't think I need to go any further than that, but anyway. That's my fucketry.
Let's see. I only really, I think, have 2 or 3 pieces here. The first one was Ed Krasenstein. This was last night as I was actually doing my show, because when I do Monkey in the Morning, I cruise the Twitter to find shit to talk about sometimes. And Ed Krasenstein tweeted this out. Fact, Florida teachers make just, pay attention to this number, $36,306 a year, ranking them 42nd in the nation. Meanwhile, the Florida Senate just passed a $67 million bill to arm teachers with guns. What the hell is happening in this state and this country? Okay. So I was like, that doesn't sound right. Florida teachers only making that much. So I went and looked it up. And what he did was he accidentally pulled the number from the people in Oklahoma. He went to Google and he typed in how much do teachers make.
Oh, no.
Says, yeah. Teachers were paid the highest in New York, according to a 24/7 Wall Street, where the median salary is $78,576.
Yeah.
Teachers pay is the lowest in Oklahoma, according to the report, where the median salary is $36,306.
Cost of living.
Florida ranks 42nd, with teachers' average median salary at $48,134. He just saw that number and threw it in there, and he still has the post up. I'm like, God, you're a fucking moron. Learn to read, you dumbass.
Also,
it's not that hard.
Cost of living differences in different places too.
It is, yeah. And the bill that they passed for the guns has nothing to do with teacher pay, you dumbass. Anyway, I get, maybe you can spend that money to pay teachers more. Sure, okay, but at least get the fucking numbers right, you idiot. I hate that guy. He's an idiot. The next one. Did you guys remember the big story about how the New York Times got a hold of Trump's taxes, and it showed he was losing billions of dollars back in the 90s?
Yeah.
Somebody went and found it, and I'm glad they did, because it's funny as shit. He actually acknowledged this in the opening of The Apprentice each week. When he would do his little cold open thing.
Yeah.
I'll throw the link into chat. But he's talking about how great he's doing. And he actually says, it wasn't always this way. Just a few years ago, I was billions of dollars in debt.
Bum, bum, bum.
Dun, 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 dun. Thank you, Lamented Guide. Libs, stop treating our crappy teachers like saints. Look, I appreciate what they do. Teachers have a hard fucking job. Not all teachers are good, though. And they need to do. They need to get rid of tenure, and they need to go to a system. Look, if half of your students are failing, I feel like part of that's on the teacher. At least part of that's on the teacher. But we have a big argument going on in the country right now. This is a big Kamala Harris push with the teacher salary thing. So yeah, expect to see a lot of that, guys. The other one, I saw this just before we went to air tonight, actually. Jim Acosta says, Trump defending his campaign launch speech in 2015 when he referred to Mexican immigrants as rapists, saying at a Florida rally, quote, that speech was so mild compared to what's happening. It's not what he said, you dick. That's why I said I'm probably going to get kicked off Twitter. I keep waiting for it. I don't know how I keep sliding under radars, but I've been pushing boundaries lately on the Twitter, and I probably should pull back. But that's not what he said. It's not what he said. He referred to some Mexicans coming across, and if you read the actual next part of it, he also says Hondurans and Venezuelans, and it wasn't just that. He actually even says people from the Middle East coming through that way. So stop it. Stop lying. CNN keeps doing this. Their anchors and reporters and stuff. If you actually go to their Twitter feeds, man, they are so biased. I mean, like not even trying to hide it. Not even trying anymore. And
well,
I know
the thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know we said that before, but I mean, that was like on air, at least on their Twitter. It wasn't. They're getting just horrible. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the interesting part about that quote and the fact that everybody keeps quoting it is, I think if you go to a journalist and you ask them directly, like, are you, and just straight out, are you really saying that Trump said that every single one that came over is that way? And he's like, no, no, I don't. I'm not saying that that's what he said. It's like, well, would you be able to agree that literally, like, just one out of all the people that come over the border, just one person might be guilty of any of those things? If they say yes, then I'm like, then you're a liar. Like, you're an absolute liar. Like, if you can agree that just one person that has ever crossed the border for any reason at any point in time, I don't care when it is, from Mexico, has either done any of the things that Trump listed, they were like, then what is the problem? You're telling me that you agree with Trump by saying yes. Because their narrative right now is Trump is saying that people who come across the border do those things, and that is false. Nobody who comes across the border does those things. It never happens. So I'm like, that's the narrative you're pushing. So if I ask you straight out, do you think that one person, just one, it don't have to be a group or anything, has ever done anything that Trump has mentioned, and you say yes, then you're full of shit.
Well, the fact
it's so easy.
He wasn't wrong. And again, we've talked about the reason he got a lot of shit for this, and it looked like his campaign was just sunk from the beginning. And then we had the Steinle murder. And everybody like, oh, wait, you mean there are some criminals coming across the border? Because that guy, he'd been deported like 5 fucking times and was living in San Francisco because it was a sanctuary city. And yeah, I found the gun and it accidentally went up. Yeah, sure. But I've just noticed there's been an uptick as we get closer to the election of these guys. Chris Cillizza's real bad about doing it. Do you actually follow him, Scribe?
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's how I keep in touch with the wonderful world of journalism not investigated.
Some of his tweets, they're just like, do you work for the DNC?
Yeah.
I mean,
especially like comparing two completely separate ends of statistics together and saying, by contrast, of a different type of that was. I really need to screen cap that. That's an amazing. Oh God.
Yeah, I'm just. It's been getting weird, and I should start following him. I don't follow anybody from Fox. I don't follow anybody from MSNBC. I should, so I can see how bad it is all around with the major new cable news networks. Because I'm interested now. It's really got me interested with his, excuse me, blatantly biased as these assholes have gotten. I mean, it's weird. I keep looking for one of them to be an actual reporter. You know, one who's like, okay, this is what's happening, without their personal opinion obviously there.
Well, you know, for whatever futility some of the stories are, I can at least give the New York Times props for being investigative journalists. I mean, they broke Harvey Weinstein. They broke, you know, however they got the documents, and whether or not it actually proves anything that we didn't already know. They got Trump's tax returns from the 90s, or at least copies thereof. So, I mean, at least on the end of trying to find out things and doing the legwork necessary to get a story, at least the New York Times is doing something. I might not always agree with their conclusions or their message, but they're doing it. Whereas CNN is just sort of relaying the information the Washington Post comes up with.
Well, it's their job.
Yeah, I know.
I subscribed to the New York Times for just a little. They had that, you know, you can get a whole month for $1. I'm like, sure, I'll do that. And I didn't like the paper itself. And then the Washington Post had one. I'm like, well, I'll check that one out. And I've done that. I think it cost me like $4 a month to get it. And I actually like the Post. I don't agree with a lot of what's in there, but at least it's fucking news. It's like, I'm going to hear later on CNN about this article. I think that so many times when I read it. I still like newspapers and stuff. I like investigative reporting, but it is weird that it's only coming out of basically those two newspapers for the entirety of the cable news world.
Well, but that's the thing. It's not cable news. Those are news publications. I don't think we can consider TV news anymore as actual. And I mean, I know this sounds stupid to say given what we talk about every night, but the people on cable news are not actually journalists.
No, they're not.
Even if they have a degree, they are just reading the news. I mean, and of course that point's been made a million times before, but to even, I think even the prestige of the notion that they're journalists needs to be removed unless or until they actually show they're doing investigate. I mean, they have like CNN investigates, which is bullshit because they don't investigate anything. And when they do investigate something, they usually get it wrong. It's just like,
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I jokingly said, you know, Monkey in the Morning is a news program that I am a journalist, and people are like, it's really true, and I'm like, God damn, it is really true. We're journalists by the standards set by CNN. Yeah. Yeah. This is a journalism show, guys.
Yeah, we read stories produced by other sources, and then we pontificate on the accuracy, the merits, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, punditry is not journalism, but punditry has become what they call journalism now.
Yep.
So anyway.
But yeah, guys, that I didn't have much other fucking. Like I said, I got up at 6 o'clock this evening, so I wasn't much on here. For reasons I'm not going to explain, I do want to throw this out there. You guys know I'm a drama whore. I love my drama, right? I really don't like to be involved in the drama. I've always said I like to watch drama. I don't want to be involved in it.
Oh, so you're a coward?
No, I'm not a coward. I'll step up occasionally. There's a reason I don't want to be involved in it, and it's because look at Andy Worski. Look at Tom.
Do I have to?
No, I'm seriously. Look at these guys who've had these great giant audiences, and they've just been destroyed, and it's all over the drama itself. I like to look at it and talk about it. I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I just want to caution people: if you like drama, don't become part of it. That's the bad road to go down. If you want to laugh at it and look at it from afar, that's fine. Stay out of it. It's not worth it. Just throwing that out there.
Well, you got to if you're going to do it, the best strategy, or at least the most likely to succeed strategy, is the Jerry Springer strategy, because he curated drama.
Yes.
He did not make himself the subject of the drama. Now, obviously,
don't be the headline.
Yeah, don't be the headline. Now, to a not so successful extent, but probably more successful than a lot, Keemstar is kind of like a Jerry Springer.
Sure.
He has been involved in drama, of course. He's made drama for himself, etc. But he, at least for the most part, created a platform where he's curating other people's drama. So if you're going to get involved, just be a Chris Cillizza to the drama of the Washington Post.
Right.
That's basically it. That's all. That is the best way to go.
Were you gonna say something there, Satsu?
No, I just laughed at what's going on.
Okay. Look, we all know I've dabbled a little bit. But if you're gonna dabble, do it and then step back. Don't dive in, because it's the road to ruin, guys. And again, I'm not saying why I'm bringing that up, just mentioning it. If you feel like that applies to you, take the advice. Anyway, so guys, that's going to bring us to question time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat now, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. So let's see. Monkey says, or Monkey, Mr. Monopoly says, why do the Krasenstein bros don't have blue check marks? Because they're con artists.
Yeah. Not convicted, but only just.
No, but even within the community there, I mean, they got their huge numbers of followers. Brian Krasenstein just a little while ago thanked all of his followers. Like, motherfucker, you cheated to get that. You did it in a way that almost every platform considers wrong. You did your follow for follow. You don't pay attention to the people you're following. You don't give a crap about them. You only followed them so that they would follow you. And then that one person gets a follow, and by the time you were done, you had 600,000. You're a fucking con man. It's all you've ever been. There was somebody sent me a great picture of way back in 2009 of him actually talking about multi-level marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You mean a Ponzi scam? Anyway, why is Donald Trump racist for criticizing Mexico, but Ilhan Omar isn't anti-Semitic no matter what she says? Well, a lot of people think she is anti-Semitic no matter what she says. They see anti-Semitism even when there's not some, but there's several of us who think she doesn't like Jews. I'm one of them. I don't think she likes Jews, and I think she enjoys the opportunity to bash on Israel and then just go, wait, but it's not that I don't like the Jews. I have questions about Israel. No, she doesn't like Jews. She's a Muslim, for fuck's sake. They don't like each other since the beginning. For 1,400 years now. Some of them are calming down. That's a good thing. I got Baked Alaska to sing the chorus from his song the other day in a live stream. Oh, all right. What'd that cost you, Peter? I imagine it a lot, because I'm sure he has tears. Mr. Monopoly says, check your DMs. I'll do that later. I'm reading questions now, and at that time, I pay attention to questions and comments, guys, or at least do my best to, until we start talking about a question and we get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on sleeping while it's raining?
It can be soothing, I guess. I don't know.
It depends on the kind of rain.
Very soothing.
What was that, Satsu?
I said I think it's very soothing.
It depends on the kind of rain. If it's like we've had rain the last fucking 3 weeks, and it just makes every day feel like a Sunday. Like, I should be napping in front of the TV right now. I seen that. It was Trump multi-level marketing. Yeah. P-Dog, you're right. The multi-level marketing that Brian Krasenstein was pushing back in 2009 was Donald Trump's. Oh, God. Scribe, what did you do before Lords of the Night and Monkey?
Women.
I'm his cock block.
Yeah, no.
I was just about to say, did he just say we stopped him from getting pussy?
No. It was a joke. What did I? It's like, what did I do for a hobby? Well, truth be told, most of my time was taken up with a social group grown out of my my gaming, my either tabletop or LARPing and everything else. And for various reasons, that part of my life kind of faded away, and I just kind of was noodling around for about a year or so until Irate Bear randomly invited people to come on to a live stream off of minds.com. And I was like, okay. Yeah, because I've been watching the Gamergate stuff and other things for a while. And I think I'd seen him somewhere before that. And so I was like, I'll be on, sure. And so I came on there, talked to him for an hour or whatever, and thought to myself, well, if this idiot can do it, I can. And then everything else just kind of fell into place over time. And I say that with all the love in the world, obviously.
And then he showed me how to do it, and every night I just bugged the shit out of him until
that was basically it. It's like, hey, can you help me put together a live stream? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then 75 people showed up in like 3 minutes after going live. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing here?
No, it did start by accident like that, because I really wanted to live stream myself because of how the streams were back then.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody I knew who did a stream that had 9-10 people on it, and it sucked.
Right.
And me and Scribe, we got onto one. I don't remember. I think it was Base Mamas.
It's either Base Mama or Irate Bear, but it might have been, or Base Mama was there, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, whichever it was, anyway.
And me and Scribbles just took over the whole chat. We the last like 2 hours of this thing was just me and him talking. And then we got onto because we did the test stream, and then the next night we decided to do a real stream. And I just really enjoyed talking to him. And it's like, you want to do it? I'm bored. You want to go stream?
That was it every day for like
every day.
Like 3 weeks or something. It's like, hey, you want to stream? I'm like, okay.
I'm crippled. I don't do a lot, so I get bored easily. Willie Ford says, who the heck can sleep while it's raining? I can. I like rain, but yeah, it is rather soothing.
It's white noise, basically.
Indeed. You can actually
buy racist.
Yeah.
You can buy white noise machines that have rain.
Exactly. Or you can like find YouTube videos that are just like 10 hours of rain sounds and fall asleep to that stuff.
Right. Check Your Logic says Sunday. Why Sunday? I don't know. Sundays just have always felt like it's not blah. It's just like, I should be relaxing in front of TV today. I should be napping on the couch. I don't feel that way the rest of the week, but I can always tell when it's a Sunday. It's just my body's like, it's time to rest. I'm like God, y'all. I just need to rest on Sundays.
Wow. Okay.
Is that blasphemous?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Holy fuck. The chat jumped. And you guys are talkative. Oh, wow. Where the hell were we?
Yeah, guys, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, seriously.
No, it's
stop
great.
Monkey wants you to stop talking.
You assholes. Stop it. I love the participation we get here. Cryptic, thank you so much. Is yellow rain called a golden shower? Oh, God damn it.
If Cryptic, you've got yellow rain, something's wrong with your atmosphere.
Yeah, where are you? Mexico City?
Oh.
They used to have I don't know if they still do, but they used to have like the worst environment on the planet. Nothing for you here says, you mean to say the Abrahamic descendants have been causing trouble for the rest of humanity over thousands of years? Well, that's not what I was saying. I was saying that the Jews and the Muslims have been fighting since 1400 years ago when the Islamic religion popped up. Duck Dog asks, why do people make so much unnecessary noise while doing mundane tasks? Ooh.
Like whistling or something or humming.
I'm guessing so. Tapping your fingers.
Yeah, it's probably just sort of like bodily tedium. Some people can't handle silence. Some people can't handle just yeah. It's usually people just can't handle everything being too quiet. They need some kind of sound. Of course, with as much information and media as we're exposed to every day, not having something going on in the background or at least some noise happening is probably alien to most of us.
Yeah, I am one of those people that cannot really handle total silence.
Yep, me too.
It makes me uneasy.
James Colley, thank you so much. Sounds like how MITAM is becoming. For the record, I'm thankful for every time Monkey allows me on to talk. Thanks. Oh, James, it's always nice to have you on. I don't tend to invite people on very often. I invite Dax, Jack, and Polly every time I do it. And I never want more than 5. So that invitation goes out immediately. So I like to wait to see who's coming on. And then it's like, do I invite somebody? And then everybody should, because we did have that one night. I invited like 3 people on and then everybody else showed up. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. The 5 people is standing on the line of able to have a coherent stream conversation.
Yep.
4 people is just about perfect. If you're going to go as far as 4, but yeah, anything more than 5 and you're asking for trouble.
Well, one of the reasons I do 5 on there is because once we get up to about 4 people, Dax gets quiet.
Oh, okay.
He does a lot of stuff in the background. He'll send out invites for me and stuff like that.
Okay.
But at that point, he gets quiet. So when there's 5, it's more like there's 4 because Dax is.
Yeah. I mean, I did a stream one time. It was all about BDSM, and I think there was like 6 or 7 of us on there. But it was a regulated conversation in that everybody took turns speaking, and everybody else muted themselves until the other person was done because it was all very sort of personal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have something that regimented, you can get away with it. But just for like casual conversation and stuff, any more than about 5 active voices at any one time is asking for problems.
Kathy says, "Love Lords of the Night. Love you back. No homo."
Wait,
What?
Kathy? Nothing. Never mind.
I'm a lesbian.
That's yes. Okay.
I have to put that in there.
Scribe forgot the lore.
No, I didn't forget the lore. I was just trying to think of the logistics of it all. Never mind.
Where was that other Monkey? What don't you like about Fight Club? The overtly homosexual undertones. It's just a little too gay for me.
Okay.
I'm not being mean.
You just don't like Meatloaf getting hugs, is all.
Dude, man, we've had like 3 2-hour-long arguments over Fight Club. And I just don't. I never saw the appeal that everyone else did. It is incredibly homosexual, guys. And I was arguing about, and I forget who it was. It was either Polly or Gutenberg. One of them was like, "You just say that because the writer was gay." I'm like, I had no idea the writer was gay, but you just made my point, man.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, there's gay undertones. Kitty Stalker, thank you so much. Satsu, I don't know why you say. Thank you for the question. There you go. Satsu 2 cents. Just finished watching Dead Man Wonderland. What anime should I watch next?
Dead Man Wonderland was pretty good. Shit.
Uratsujogi's Legend of the Overfiend.
Watch Overlord if you haven't, I guess, since everybody's been making me watch it.
South Park.
South Park is it's sort of like animation.
What do you guys hope the next technological leap will be?
Moonbase.
Robots, AI, holographs, etc. That's a good question.
Stem cell healing of like seriously, like replacement organs and spinal columns and the whole 9 yards.
Amen, brother.
I think I answered this one already, but I want a full put your consciousness into a game virtual reality.
Whoa, like Lawnmower Man.
Like lay down on, like a bed or something like that and put the headset on and your literal being is like transferred into the game to where like you are physically, or at least in your mind, physically there.
Oh, Matrix.
Yeah.
I don't know what it will be, but if I had my, they're like, you can have anything you've seen that like in movies and stuff. I would love a holodeck like they had on Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Just walk in there and it becomes whatever the fuck you want it to be. That would be my house, man. Just like show me my living room today. If you had to save your spaceship by ejecting Jews hiding from space Nazis, would you do it? Frosted Glass. What? Frosted, I love you, but Jesus Christ, man.
Okay, that reminds me of this. There's who wrote that? Was that Bradbury? There was a short story called "The Cold Equations," or "The Cold Equation," or whatever, and it had to do with a guy who was in a spaceship, and the spaceship was set up in such a way that it had exactly enough fuel to deliver medical supplies to this planet, based on the weight of the spacecraft. But then there was a stowaway on his ship who was trying to get to the planet he was going on to see his brother, her brother, before he died or something like that. And so the entire story is like the moral quandary of, if I don't either I drop the medicine or I drop her. Otherwise, we're all going to die because the ship will run out of fuel before it even gets to the planet. So what do I do? And that's that's what that little question reminded me of, but it's got nothing to do with space Nazis and Jews and everything.
Space Jews, Jesus Christ. Satsu 2 cents. How many times did you die from monkeys on the game you streamed last night?
I lost count after too damn many.
I was watching. That was a pretty good stream.
The game's crazy, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cryptic. I missed this earlier. You're right. Yellow Rain is just piss. Thank you for that. Oh God, my chat jumped. There we go. It's weird that I found this because I saw the word Jews. I found where I am because of Frosted's weird ass question. I need a good anime show to watch, says Kitty Stalker. I couldn't even begin to help you.
Kitty Stalker, if you're on my Discord, we put like different shows and shit that we watch and are enjoying on there all the time. It's hard for me to think of it like right off the top of my head, but if you join the Discord, we have a whole section for that.
Here, let's do this easier. Chat, throw some good anime in there for her to watch. If you could stop death from happening, would you do it? Hell yeah. I mean, it would mean we'd have to change things.
Wait.
What? All death. I'm guessing all death.
From happening to who?
No.
Everyone.
No.
Why not?
Hell no.
No, death is what gives life meaning. There was a great, and I know it sounds cheesy, but there's this great little speech at the end of Doctor Strange where the Ancient One gives this little soliloquy about the fact that she's dying. Spoiler alert. I've always thought that I wouldn't want to cure death altogether. I'd want to ensure the quality of people's lives, but I think the fact that we're not around forever is part of being human.
Yeah, that's in my opinion, that is the reason why drive, ambition, all this type of stuff comes from, this sense of urgency for people to create and do new things and stuff. Is because you don't have a lot of time. Yeah. If everybody has all the time in the world, I think the world would be a very shitty place.
No, I would. There's some logistics you'd have to do with like birth rates and stuff, but yeah, I'd have no problem with that. Have you considered starting a Lego channel? There's so many channels I would make if I could fucking do it. AT&T, fix my shit. Let's see. Toasted Network. How do I get over my fear of trannies? Well, what fear do you have of trannies?
Stop repairing cars.
Right.
When will Lords of the Night be back on Sundays again? I don't think we're going to do that. It's nice having a day off.
Yeah, having at least one day off, because when we were doing it every single day, there was just this. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I think SDA was talking about it too. I think she might have been the one that initiated it. But yeah, there's just a certain amount of burnout doing it every single day and having to set aside part of your schedule and your mind and everything else. So having one day off has helped out things quite a bit. And also having a set rotation, whereas before it was just like every other day, or every third day, regardless of the day, I'd be responsible for that, being on the show. So yeah, it's a
nice little break.
This format works well.
Ranting Monkey, are you aware there are fake Ranting Monkey accounts on Twitter? No. Send me them. I'd like to laugh at them. You are sweet about that, Ranting Monkey. Guys, I'm so far behind. I'm trying my best to get through all of the questions, and I love how much engagement we have because we're going to go well into the 11 o'clock hour. So I'm trying, guys. Ranting Monkey, Scribe Light Satsu, what's the craziest character you've ever played in an RPG?
Oh,
I don't really get crazy with them. I usually just play a standard thief or ranger.
Well, if we're talking RPGs in the large definition of RPGs, I did play a Malkavian one time in a LARP, not in the video game. And that was like by definition and by design, the craziest character I ever played. I could give details, but it would take forever. So,
Satsu?
I guess, well, there was this one character that I made on Fallout, this red-haired, crazy, scarred-up chick who literally refused to kill anybody with anything other than a knife. uh, and that was fun. It was fun. She didn't have any morals or any kind of alignment to anybody. She just wanted to find the most interesting ways to murder people.
Nice.
And it was kind of fun to restrict myself to that, because it was like, I want to get to know this person and I want to build up my friendship with them. So killing them will be that much sweeter. Not like so we can be friends. It's just like
Did you?
it was interesting.
I assume you bought up Blitz and got Pikmin's Blade.
Oh yeah, I went right for Pikmin's Blade because her story is like all the knives and stuff, or any blades that she felt she didn't feel was worthy of the type of killing that she wanted to do, because she felt it was an art form. Right. And she heard about Pikmin's Blade. So when I start off the game, like that is the first thing she goes for.
Yeah.
Talking about my opinion on Fight Club, Nut says too gay for someone who claims to be a lesbian. Stop it. Ebony asks, would any of you wear a Victorian style dress in public for 5 hours for $3,000? Fuck yeah.
Sure.
Hell, man, I won't just wear it. I will rock that bitch.
No shit. Mr. Monopoly asked me when my next regular video is. Yes. Data says Monkey and Fam 2 cents game stream, just the right amount of gay undertones.
We do get kind of gay over on 2 cents.
That's all right, man. See, that's the thing. It's not gay undertones. It's gay overtones. That's different. Sassy, any new merch?
Well, no. I was gonna make a Fam 2 cents shirt. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But check out the merch store, guys.
There you go. Bodacious says Moonbase would be awesome, but good answers. Talking about our question our answers to the tech question. Satsu, what do you think about a grocery store anime?
I mean, I think they can make it interesting. A lot of slice of life anime are about, just kind of mundane locations, but people doing interesting things in them. So I think it could work. I mean, one of my favorite top 5 shows is a show about cooking. So
there you go.
I think they can make it work.
Let's see. Prospero said it's not Bradbury, it's Tom Godwin who wrote it. I'm guessing we're
okay. The Cold Equations. Okay, I thought it was one of the big names, but my mistake.
Slovenly asked, game stream tonight? No, I think the open server will be open though. I might jump in there. Oh, I can't. I'm on the next. Maybe I'll revert. 17.3 has come out in experimental, and I updated, so maybe I'll revert and come hang out. I haven't seen the server since they reset it. Imagine a world where nothing dies. Look, man, it's been a lot of death in my life. I could take that for a while. Plus, it would make me a lot less nervous when people are away from me. Didn't the Fist Arc of Fate Grand Order have the same moral? I don't know what those are, but sure. I'm guessing those are about death.
Yeah.
You know what, Monkey?
Yeah, what?
I wouldn't mind if there was a period, like for some reason, some crazy supernatural shit happened where 5 years or something people couldn't die. Oh, okay. I think that would be interesting.
Lords of the Night, have you ever heard?
Kind of cool.
Have you ever heard of the Man with the Paper Glove? I have not.
No. I've heard of the Man with the Golden Arm, but not that. No.
I've heard of the Man with the Mediocre YouTube channel.
No, why were you looking at me?
No, I was just saying, why are you looking in the mirror every day?
Why are you looking at me, motherfucker? Scribe, please do ads again.
That's my answer.
Make it seasonal.
Yeah, maybe for special occasions or something. But I've explained it before.
Princess Unicorn Nipples.
Add January.
Princess Unicorn Nipples asks, I'm 12. What Pokemon type is Clitoris? If you're 12, I shouldn't even say that word to you.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I've almost caught up to the questions. And I know there's been a lot of talk in there, guys. I don't mean to miss your, because I know I say statements, we'll try to address them, but you guys are so awesome at engaging with us. You guys going to VidCon this year? No, I won't. VidCon's what, April? No, June. Sorry,
Yeah.
June or July, something like that. Yeah, there's
No, sir.
Nope. Monkey can't travel, and I wouldn't feel right going to VidCon without my my pals. So
I think if I ever go to VidCon, I'm gonna have to go in like 3 days early, so that that I don't know how an airplane trip would affect me.
Oh, I seen like a couple days of rest first.
Yeah, like when I go to my doctor, we drive down there and drive back. And granted, this is on fucking Michigan roads. The next 2 days, man, I'm just fucked. So yeah, I just don't know how that would affect me. I mean, turbulence, I think, would probably make me cry.
What part of California is that held in? Is that Anaheim?
Yeah, it's somewhere near LA.
You know, if we ever do go and you're up to it or something, we should then also go to Star Wars Land and Disneyland.
Oh yeah, I would love to go to Star Wars. Even as much as I hate the prequels and stuff, and I know I'm going to run into shit from there,
Yeah.
I would love to go to. They got a fucking Millennium Falcon there, man.
Yeah, Millennium Falcon ride where you can take up position as a gunner or the pilot or the whatever.
Oh man. Let's see. How many times did Jen try to get Satsu to read the monkey quote she used? For every monkey death, he died last night. Shh, just let it happen. Jen, I don't know. I didn't see that. When I watch Satsu streams when I'm not on there, I'm usually playing a game myself. I have no idea what was said in chat. Did any of you?
Oh, go
ahead.
I forgot to mention yesterday when I did that stream, Scribe. You remember I was telling you how difficult it was.
Mm-hmm.
The second attempt, I beat it.
Oh, okay. Practice makes
I went in, tried it the first time and failed, and then the second time just beat it. And I was like, oh, wow. All right. Well, I was kind of stuck. So they ended up paying for me to get the expansion. So now I get to torture myself more with the part 2 and 3 of it. So
there you
go. Did any of you guys watch Detective Pikachu? I've not seen it.
Nope. I probably won't. I'm not a Pokemon fan, so I wouldn't get the jokes anyway. So,
did you guys see the troll?
But the troll,
yeah, they the Pokemon company or whatever, they released what looked like a leak of the full version of the movie on Twitter. Not on Twitter, on YouTube.
I did not.
Yeah, it was like the full time length of the movie and everything. And when it started, it played the logo, it started everything, the intro. And it started playing, and then I think 2 minutes in, it was like the rest of the hour and 30-something minutes was just Pikachu dancing to some weird songs.
That sounds like something.
And I was just like, oh, this is next level troll.
It sounds like something Ryan Reynolds suggested.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, this is fucked up. It was funny though.
Mr. Monopoly tells me to check Twitter. I will, but again, it'll be after the stream. Snubber, it says, are the patch notes for the experimental out? Yes, they are. Shit.
And it is very interesting, guys.
I sent that to Satsu, so I can get that to you. Snubber, are you on Twitter? I can't remember if you are or not. Yeah, sorry, you got to read the question, so I can't do that right yet. Are you going to be over in the Discord right after this? I'll send it to you there. A world where no one dies, that means dirt bags live forever, and I will not tolerate that. Well, that just means you can torture him a lot more, you know. What would Hitler do if he was alive today? Probably die because he'd be old as dirt.
Wait a minute.
What?
Okay, I just thought of something profound as fuck. What would happen to all the people on death row?
They'd have life sentence.
Yeah, they just get a life sentence.
Which means they.
What is life though? When you can't die?
Forever.
Well, then
forever.
You put him in the electric chair every other day. Like shit, it didn't work again.
We gonna keep doing this until it works.
We're gonna keep trying.
Now, life sentences will probably be turned into something like 100 years or something. They'd actually be able to serve those 300-year sentences these guys get sometimes.
Well, that fucking triple life.
Yeah. In the world, in my imagination of the world where nobody dies, it would be nobody can die of natural causes. You could still get hit by a car. You could still, there could still be accidents. But
oh, okay. That's it. So all the stupid people doing dumb shit could still kill themselves doing dumb shit.
yes,
Gotcha.
safety would be a lot
all
more
right.
important. Let's see. What if the Jews were hiding from the space Muslims? God damn you, Frosty Glass.
Fuck.
You should make a book about. You should write that book. There's a space captain who has to decide. They got space Jews hiding from space Muslims and space Nazis. What do you do? How do you help them? VidCon is in July, right before my birthday. Cool, check logic. Can you drop the Discord link again if you had Satsu? Aren't they listed? I think they're in the the new one. Yeah, that one I don't have.
Well, here, I'll drop all of them. I'll put them all in there real quick.
Toasted says
I am on Discord right now.
So no face reveal, not until I can either actually make it somewhere to a con or something, or I get better internet. How many conservative voices will be highlighted at VidCon this year? None.
0.
When is E3 in 2019? That's a question for Google, not us. Unless you know it right offhand. That's a no. Guys, it's 11 o'clock. That means it's time for you to go away. We loved having you, but we have other shit to do. And we hope you were entertained. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are more than generous, and I cannot thank you enough. Tomorrow we will be on Satsu 2 Cents for Lords of the Night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Scribbles has a tentative date for Familiar with the Matter this Sunday at noon Pacific, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you set your calendars for that. Otherwise, guys, thanks for coming. Scribe, Satsu, thanks for joining me. Everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye. Discord links in the chat.